Assalamualaikum and hi. Welcome to English Development and Engagement, UHB 12902, Topic 4, Project Presentation Skills. My name is Rahana Ahmad Jalaluddin and I will be your speaker for today. For project presentation skills, I will be covering 4.1, which is language expressions, and the objective of this topic is, by the end of this chapter, students should be able to present on a group project using accurate and appropriate language expressions. For language expressions, I will further divide the topic into three parts, which is the first one, what is presentation? The second one, the framework of a presentation, and the last one, your voice during a presentation. We have finished part 1, we have finished part 2, now we are moving on to part 3, which is your voice during a presentation. Okay, so to communicate a message effectively, you need to use your voice properly because it determines whether you are giving life to the content or you're just killing the excitement of the audience with it. Okay, sometimes you are blessed with an audience that are very excited to listen to you, that very excited to listen to the content of yours. Okay, but because of your tone of voice is not really actually interesting, then it will kill the excitement. Okay, so make sure you have and you use the voice properly. So warming up your voice, in order for you to function optimally, make sure you are hydrated. Prepare your voice before the presentation. Drink enough water before and drink some water during the presentation, um, in between the intervals, to help you sound your best. Okay, and for projection and articulation, make sure when you speak you open your mouth and you look at the audience. Okay, you have to speak clearly. You have to make sure you are loud enough to be heard by the audience. That is why you need to know whether there are microphone, whether there are PA system that will help you with the presentation, whether you are having the small crowd or a big crowd. Okay, so make sure you are loud enough, and then double check the venue for the PA system. Okay, if but even if you have the microphone, right, it can only help you to add decibels. Okay, but not the strength or personality to your voice. Okay, so you still need to practice. Okay, practice deliver the presentation, practice how are you going to uh, uh, for the tone of your voice. Okay, which tone are you going to use? Okay, because your voice is actually a demonstration of your personality. Okay, are you and the audience can actually feel whether you are happy, you are willing to give them the information. Okay, you are willing to share, or you are actually stressed out, or you are actually angry, or you are actually happy and excited. Okay, a confident presenter has a strong voice, not just a loud voice, but strong. Strong means um, you have values to them, you have content with you. Okay, you have the tone, the right tone with you. Softer voice, okay, mumbling or trailing off at the end of the sentences actually is showing you are uncertain, you are timid, you are not ready to present, you are not prepared, you are maybe nervous. Okay, um, that is why, again, I'm saying to you that that is why you need to practice. And then if you don't know how to pronounce certain word right, okay, if you don't know how to pronounce certain word, just admit it, you can just look up to it. Okay, always look up to it, or better just leave the word out. If let's say you think that the word is not necessary in your presentation, then you just leave out. Okay, but whatever wordings, okay, that you don't know how to pronounce, please and please look up first. Okay, and listen to the pronunciation, right? Next, we have pace, we have variety, we have inflection for voice during presentation. Okay, so for pace, let's say you are having a live presentation, right? Okay, so a live presentation doesn't allow the listener or the audience to rewind, replay, or pause to listen. So you need to keep a reasonable pace. Okay, you need to make sure you are delivering information in a manageable pace, okay, that the listener is able to listen, digest the content, okay. He or she or they got time to maintain connection to the content, okay. um, not only saying for a live presentation, actually for even for recorded session, if you speak too fast, okay, if you speak too slow, that will also impact the understanding, the mood, and the perception of the audience. So make sure your pace is just nice, okay. And then variety, you certainly do not like to listen to a monotonous speech, right? Like, so are your audience keep a variation of tone, pace, and volume like a robot? You don't like to listen to that, right? It is awfully annoying to listen to a monotonous speech. So if you don't like to listen to something like that, you need to um, make a variation of tone, pace, and volume throughout your own presentation. Okay, you have to be lively, you have to be cheerful according to the situation, okay. You have to make sure you know when are you going to lift up the tone, lowers it down, okay. Right. The word monotonous can mean not only one, lacking variation, but also boring, okay. So you don't want to be boring, okay. You don't want to to be a boring presenter, so make sure you have a variation of tone, pace, and volume throughout the presentation. So again, this can only be achieved if you have enough practice, right? And if you're in a relaxed mode and being actively engaged to the content of the presentation, as well as the audience, actually the tone, the pace, the volume will come naturally. If you are relaxed, if you are not nervous, if you are ready with all the materials, with the knowledge, with the content and all, the variation will come naturally, actually. Okay, so the inflection is you have to be very careful of your own pitch, okay, whether you are asking questions or making a statement. So the pitch at the end of the sentence maybe sometimes lead to a different understanding. For example, you actually wants to make a statement, but the way you end your sentence is uh, taking a pitch of a question, then maybe the audience will think that, oh, this is not a statement, this is a question, okay. um, Another situation is when you wish to continue your topic but accidentally use a wrong pitch. Okay, that actually kills the attention of the audience because they thought you're ending the session, but it's actually not yet happening. Okay, so if you want to close the session, use the correct tone, the tone that is uh, showing you are closing it. Okay, right. Moving on to the next part of voice of presentation, we have silence and breathing. Okay, silence can actually be powerful. Being silent doesn't actually show that you are lacking with ideas. No. Okay, you don't need to justify yourself by filling the gaps with fillers, with words. Let's say you don't know something. Okay, you don't know what to say next. Maybe your mind just go blank. Simply just pause. Okay, just pause for a moment to think, okay, and then continue. You don't need to okay, you don't need to have those feelers, okay. You might be feeling that it takes forever for the ideas to come, but to the audience, trust me, it's just a few seconds, okay. So just be silent and then continue with the idea, right? And then breathing, okay. Practice breathing because it helps you to be flexible when you speak, okay. If you know how to breathe, if you practice breathing, okay, you might not be having problems during your presentation like lack of breath or something, okay. So everybody needs to breathe, everybody needs to breathe. So just breathe as usual when you're doing your presentation. Please do not rush, okay? We are humans, we are not robots, okay? So do not rush uh, to your points, okay? Um, just make sure you have ample time. Just make sure you know that you have ample time to speak. You can speak clearly, you can speak effectively without rushing, okay, without rushing. So focus on breathing from diaphragm. You can feel your abdomen expand as you inhale, okay, contract as you exhale. So try to practice breathing so that number one, it can reduce your nervousness, and number two, it can help you to be a more flexible speaker. Okay, so if you need to breathe, just pause the points and then breathe. Okay, you don't need to suffer. All right. Actually, why is it important to improve the way we use our voice? Why we need to improve the way we use our voice? Why? Because you want to have authoritative and appealing tone of voice to appear more confident. You want to be more confident. You want to appear that you are a confident speaker, okay, and have pleasing voice to the ears of your audience. You want them to relax, you want them to enjoy your presentation. So make sure you improve the way you use your voice, the tone, the pace, and all, okay, the volume, because you also want the audience to be attentive, you want them to be respectful, respond to you, give feedback to you, listen to you, understand, okay, accept the information, okay, meaning to like agree with you, okay, and you don't want to end up with having a sore throat just because you unnecessarily shouted during the presentation. Okay, you don't need to shout, okay. uh, if you know how to control your breathing, if you know how to breathe or speak or use the voice coming up from your abdomen, okay, it is a no problem for you. Okay, so just practice breathing, try to not shout during presentation, and of course do not use a very slow a very low key volume voice that people couldn't even hear you. Okay, so be moderate, okay, moderate, and have variation of tone, okay, pace. um, that is the core thing about voice of presentation, right? Now, by having all those information, I have actually come to the end of my presentation for today. Okay, so let's recap some of the main points that I have explained earlier to you. So for language expressions and the project presentation skills, we have three items that I actually explained. Okay, so the first one is what is presentation, the framework of a presentation, as well as your voice during a presentation. So we get to know actually just now what is actually a presentation, uh, and then what are the items, what makes a presentation is a good presentation, what should you prepare, what should you do before, during, and after, and then how should you varies your tone, how should you engage with the audience, how should you keep the presentation interesting by having variations of tones, pace, and volume. Okay, so that is all about the language expression. I hope you can benefit from the video. Okay, and I would like to thank you guys for listening to me. And if, let's say, you have any questions, you might ask the lecturers of yours, okay, for further clarification. All right, till I see you again next time. Thank you very much and hope to see you soon. Bye. Okay, that is probably not a good way to say bye, right? Okay, let me say it again. Bye. See you again.